Good afternoon, Lancaster. This is Lancaster Connects. It is Monday afternoon, June 10th, 2024. I'm Ben McClure, one of your co-hosts here at Lancaster Connects, and I am joined by my introductory co-host of the day. Do you want to introduce yourself? Who are you? You don't want to tell everybody who you are? This is Julian. This is my son, Julian. He is going to hang out here for a few minutes. I think we'll maybe do a mini connection cocktail, maybe a Kool-Aid version of the connection cocktail, where we ask you a few questions to get to know you a little bit better. What do you think about that? That'd be all right? All right. So this is Lancaster Connects. Welcome to the show. We've got a great show this afternoon. We're going to be joined by Ray Rivera from Tec Centro. It's our third Tec Centro show. Tec Centro is a division of SACA. So we're going to learn about incarceration, getting incarcerated people back into the workforce via Tec Centro. So really, really excited to bring Reinaldo on in a little bit here. If you'd like to watch the show, of course, if you're watching it now live, you're maybe watching it on Facebook, on the Gardener's Mattress and More or Lancaster Connects Facebook pages, or personal pages of my co-host, my typical co-host, Jeff, or myself. Jeff today is on the road, attending an industry event this week. So that's why we got the temporary co-host for the afternoon. Also, YouTube channels, Gardener's Mattress and More and Lancaster Connects YouTube channels. Love to hear from you during the show. If you've got a question for our guest, Ray, or maybe you have a question for co-host Julian, go ahead and type it in the chat in YouTube or Facebook. We'll see that, and we can get your question answered. Or if you have a comment, like us, subscribe, all that great stuff. We'd love to hear from you. So how about we get to know Julian a little bit? Is that all right? All right. So you're welcome to say hi. You know, Grammy and Grampy might be watching. You can say hi to them. All right. So Julian, I want to know, we often ask our guests what their favorite restaurant in Lancaster County is. Do you have a favorite Lancaster restaurant? What is it?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. How'd I know it was going to be Chick-fil-A? You know, Chick-fil-A has two locations in Lancaster, and they're equally as good as each other, as you can imagine. They're not a Lancaster-based restaurant, but they are, I feel, the cream of the crop in terms of fast food in Lancaster County. So, okay, yeah, I'll get you. What's your favorite food at Chick-fil-A?
Waffle fries.
Waffle fries. I like the waffle fries as well. All right. So we also ask people what their favorite thing to do in Lancaster County is. Do you have a favorite thing to do in Lancaster County? No? Not really? Barnstormers games? You like Barnstormers games?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you've been asking to go to Barnstormers games, so we'll have to get out there this season. They are going for their third straight championship. Did you know that? They won the last 2 years. You knew that. All right. And the season just started, so we've got plenty of opportunity during the rest of the summer to go to the Lancaster Barnstormers at Clipper Magazine Stadium. You know, if you're listening and watching and you haven't been to a Barnstormers game in a while, definitely go give them attend a game. They put on a great experience, lots of fan-friendly, kid-friendly stuff going on during the game. Lots of really, really cool things. We did go to a Barnstormers game earlier this year with your baseball team. Remember that? Yeah. So we went to one game. Yeah. Normally you do camp during the summer, but besides camp, what are you most excited for the rest of summer? Is there something like you're super excited for this summer?
Beach.
The beach? Yeah. We go to the beach in July. We go to like about the middle of July. So, we'll be doing our beach trip. Where do we go to the beach? Cape May, New Jersey. Yes. Yep. So, that's our annual family tradition. Cape May with grandparents. That's a fun one. Go to Cape May every year. So we're looking forward to that one too. So, you see, we got a comment there. Ben Jr. I guess they think you look like me. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Anything else you'd like to tell our Lancaster Connects listeners and watchers? No, say hello, say goodbye. All right. How about, I'm going to do this interview with Ray. We're going to bring Ray on in just a little bit. Go hang out backstage and we'll come get you when the show's over. All right. See you, bud. Thanks for being on. All right. There he goes. All right. So I'm going to slide over here. Normally Julian has camp, but no camp today. So, and we're actually going on vacation this week. So he's hanging out. Bring your kid to work day, I guess, if you will. So, thank you to Julian for helping out here. So, without further ado, let's bring on Reinaldo Rivera from Tec Centro in Lancaster. Hey, Ray, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Doing well, thank you.
Yep. So thank you for being on the show. This is great. So we've had you're the third person that we've had on from SACA, and I think second from Tec Centro. We had Marilyn on about a year ago, I believe, from Tec Centro.
Correct.
And we had I think Jose on maybe 2 years ago. So this has become an annual tradition. So you're third in line. That has no indication on anything. You just were the third one that we brought up. So thank you for taking the afternoon and being on here with us. So we'll just kind of jump right in. If somebody hasn't watched the previous shows with SACA and Tec Centro, maybe you could just give us a broad overview of SACA, the Spanish American Civic Association of Lancaster, and the division of Tec Centro. If you could just kind of give us a couple minute overview of those two programs.
Of course. Well, thank you for having me in the show. It is amazing to be here, and thank you for the opportunity. And like you said, being here doesn't mean much, but but I'm very happy. But I'm happy to be here. So SACA is a nonprofit organization that was established back in the 70s. So we're turning 51 years old this November. Yeah, serving the community. Initiated with providing services to the people that were coming over to work on the fields. During that time, there was no social services being provided to the population that was coming over to the fields. And that's how SACA initiated. However, through times change and everything involved, we have to move in that direction as well, providing services to anybody and everybody that in the community that needs it. So SACA have different programs under their umbrella. I normally like to say with SACA is the parent, and the different programs are their children. So Tec Centro, definitely. So Tec Centro is one of their child. That we offer workforce development, adult education, and employment services, along with other services that are provided to the community, like community meals, behavioral health services. We have our radio station, WLCH. We also have SACA Development, which is for first-time home buyers. That's pretty much an array of services that we offer through SACA.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's a great overview. We're gonna dig into, of course, Tec Centro a little bit deeper, and even more specifically the workforce reentry component of that. But I'd like to know a little bit of your background with Tec Centro. How long you've been with SACA and Tec Centro, and what your role is there. It said associate director on the screen there, but I don't know what that means. Tell us and our listeners what you do right there.
Well, I've been with SACA for the past 16 years.
Wow. Okay.
I originally started working at the behavioral health component. Then throughout the years, I moved through different of the departments that SACA has. And about 4 years, I landed here at Tec Centro as the associate director for the Tec Centro Lancaster. We have two Tec Centros in Lancaster, one on the east side of town and one on the west side. And with the direction of Marlene, which you have mentioned that you've had her on the show as well. we both run the Tech Centro Lancaster facilities.
Okay. So you're each at one of the facilities.
Yes, I'm mainly housed at the Tech Centro West. Marlene is a house at the Tech Centro East, even though that she oversees both of them, of them as well. So that's pretty much where we divide our time.
And what is the reason for the two facilities? The ability to cover more areas of of Lancaster City?
Correct. Not only that, we outgrew our first facility as well, so we needed a little bit more space to continue operating the services. But the other component to that is that we wanted to offer services at the west side of the city as well. Services where people can walk to them and have accessibility to them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So specifically, Tech Centro provides assistance for those needing workforce training and re-entering the workforce after being released from prison. So that's kind of how we've crafted this show here. Okay. Can you talk a little bit about that? How does that work? From the time somebody's released from prison till they get to Tech Centro and then goes into the workforce. Like, what does that look like?
Well, I'm a firm believer that we cannot do everything by ourselves. So we rely a lot on community partners. So we have great community partners that reaches out to us whenever there is a gap or a need in the community. So we work with many organizations and many community based organizations that offer different services. So they reach out to us to see if we can offer any type of skills trainings or skills program for those individuals that are reentering the workforce, which we do. The skills programs provide essential support to the individuals reentering the workforce by offering targeted education and training opportunities. So this initiative focuses on equipping individuals with the skills needed to secure a stable employment and reintegrate into society.
So what does that journey look like? Let's say somebody's released from prison today, for example, and they come under the Tech Centro umbrella. What, can you kind of walk us through that journey or walk us through that journey?
Sure. So anybody that walks through our doors would receive the services. However, we go through an intake process. The individual will go through an intake process. After that, it might get placed on a waiting list. Right now, our waiting list is over 1,000 people. However, we work with different community agencies to give some priorities to some individuals. So granted that is the case, then we start working with the individual to provide the career counseling and see what is that the individual is interested in or looking for in getting from our services.
So that's interesting. So you'll sit down with this individual and learn a little bit more about them, what their interests are, what they might have experienced doing in the past, maybe what they want to do going forward, and you'll help kind of mold the program to be what they need it to be?
Well, actually, the programs are already set, but in doing that, we learn more about the individual and what their goals are, the immediate goals and the long-term goals are. So we might be able to better fit them into one of the programs that we have to offer.
Right. And what are those programs? So what are some of the programs?
Primarily at the West location, our major educational partner is Stevens College of Technology. Yes, so we offered primary skills trainings here at this location. Right now, we have a commercial industrial electromechanical program. We have commercial industrial HVAC, commercial industrial plumbing, and we also have a computer software information systems training. So we got into this location about 3 years ago. So throughout those 3 years, we have been providing services as well as renovating the facility to be able to create more trainings. So upcoming next year, we're going to have a welding and metal fabrication training as well.
Okay.
We're working on renovating the basement of the facility to provide those trainings.
So
Now,
does that? Oh, go ahead.
No, what I was going to mention, that these trainings are short-term trainings, and they're based out of the 2-year trainings from Thaddeus Stevens. So Thaddeus Stevens have made this adjustment to this training, which can be done in 6 months, that the individual can reintegrate into some sort of workforce or a sustainable job that they can go right into. Or if they decide to continue their education, they can do so as well.
Okay, so that's interesting. So, so you said it's a 6-month program that's you coordinated with Thaddeus Stevens Institute of Technology, I believe is their name, and it's a 6-month program that this individual going through, workforce reentry through Tec Centro, they can take advantage of this 6-month course, and if they wanted to continue their education, they could do that through Thaddeus Stevens by attending classes there, or they could take that training and then re-enter the workforce with that shrunken or shorter education. That's what I was getting out of that.
Well, Thaddeus Stevens is the creator of the curriculum. So Thaddeus Stevens created the curriculum. So this is not only for reentry, but anybody within the community that wants to go through the training can go through the training and take any of those both avenues, either continue education if they want to, but this is mainly focused on workforce development and then providing the skills to this individual so they can reintegrate into society. Yeah,
and I love you kind of mentioned a few of the different courses: plumbing, HVAC, computer technology, welding. Those are trades that are needed in the community, and it's a skill that is never going to go. The need for that skill is never going away.
And that's the purpose why we choose the particular trades. And our partnership with Thaddeus Stevens is amazing. They normally do an analysis on this trades, and that they can be sustainable, but for a long period of time, not the short-term sustainability. So the individual can create a career out of this skills.
Yep. And so do representatives from Thaddeus Stevens College come to the Tec Centro facilities? Is that the way it works?
Actually, the curriculum and the instructors are from Thaddeus Stevens. So Thaddeus Stevens is in charge of hiring the instructors, and then we provide the facility and the equipment here at Tec Centro.
That's great. And is there a cost for somebody to go through this programming through Tec Centro?
Actually, that's the beauty of this program right now. Tec Centro absorbs majority of the training costs, which is at $6,300 per student at the moment. Okay. And so the student, the only thing that we require from the student is a $50 processing fee, but that doesn't hinder the student from coming in and getting the training that they need. If they come to me, the student might come to me and say, listen, I'm at a position right now that I don't have the $50 for the processing. That is no barrier for the student not to take the training.
That's fantastic. So especially important for somebody coming out of prison, they haven't had maybe gainful employment for a period of time, and obviously wants to get back in the workforce, but learn a trade, learn a skill, whatever, but they can't afford. So the fact that you provide that service for so many people is amazing. Actually, how many students do you have at any one given time? Or maybe you could talk about it in terms of annually, like how many students do you serve annually at Tec Centro?
Annually, we serve over to 1,000 students in both of the centers. However, here at we have two cohorts a year. So cohorts are like 60 to 65 students per cohort. So I would say annually like 120 students just in this facility.
Wow.
And the cohorts are small cohorts. We have 12 students in the classroom. Reason for being is so the instructor can dedicate more time to this individual, and they have everything that they need to learn throughout those 6 months, which is sometimes it's challenging for some of the students, like you mentioned. Sometimes they have to decide between getting a job or coming to the cohort or coming to the courses. So we help the students with the staff here at Tec Centro overcome barriers as well.
That's great. So at the point where a student has gone through the programming, let's say they've gone through the 6-month program and they're ready for workforce reentry, are you working with specific employers that can integrate? Who are you working with there, and what does that relationship look like?
So there are several ways that we target that. So the 37 states have what's called College Central, which they have a database with over hundreds of employers that gets presented to the students on how to navigate through that. We also bring in employers through the individual career path so they can address the students, perhaps do any recruiting. And we also provide an internal job fair for the students in partnership with CareerLink, where we normally have anywhere from 20 to 25 employers here at our location. And it provides the student that opportunity to employers shake their hand, practice their elevator pitch, and them their resume, and different ways that we target that. So by bringing employers to talk to the different career paths, to doing job fairs, internal job fairs, because Tec Centro also do job fairs for the community, but these are specifically targeted to the students. The only ones that attend the job fair, that's why we call it internal job fairs, is the students themselves. So it can give them that confidence to go and into this themselves and not being overwhelmed by everybody else, but and they can be able to provide a basic snippet of what they have learned through here. So they got that one-on-one with the employers as well, which is very important.
So I'm wondering, most employers are going to do background checks on anybody they might be looking to hire. So somebody who's been incarcerated and now they're reentering the workforce and they've been through your program and, employers going through their own checks and balances. Do you advocate on behalf of the person who's been through the program, giving maybe confidence to the employer, like, hey, this person, has been through our program and they're ready to go for you as, for your employment? Correct.
So, here in the staff, I've mentioned before, we have career navigators that they're with the students before, during, and after their transition through our facility. And yes, we do advocate for the students. One of the things that these students do that we also do here at Tec Centro is accountability to the students. And for example, attendance is very important. Mm-hmm. So, and in the instructors, they have their competencies that they're working with the students. So competencies are very important because it also provides an explanation of what the student learned on those 6 months and what they accomplished.
Gotcha. That's awesome. I love the fact that you provide this education, and then it's not just, hey, go find a job. You're helping them navigate what really can be a tricky situation. Meeting with an employer, going through a series or sequence of interviews. You're kind of, guiding them through that process. So what is the impact of this program, and maybe more specifically the kind of the workforce reentry from incarceration? Why is it so important to the community? What's the impact there?
Well, overall, these programs aim to reduce recidivism by providing the tools and supports necessary for these individuals to build a stable and productive life post whatever it is that they are coming out of. These programs also foster a healthier, safer, and more productive communities as well.
Sure. Yeah, no question. I mean, there's probably not maybe you have statistics on this, but I'm guessing that somebody that goes through any Tec Centro program, no matter what it is, but maybe specifically Tec Centro, if they go through your programs, get some education and get into the workforce, they're probably a lot less likely to reenter being incarcerated. I'm assuming.
Correct. Just this past year, December, we had a graduate that at the beginning of the year, he started the year incarcerated. Mm-hmm. After that, he came out. He got matched up with us through his parole officer and some of other community partners that directing him towards our Tec Centro. The individual, when he completed the program, he had a job with one of the local companies, earning $34 an hour starting.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Not only that, it's very satisfying when the individual comes in and tells you that for the first time in their life, they were able to purchase their own vehicle, or something as simple as having their vehicle insurance under their name, So it's a great impact, not only in that we're creating in the community, but also in those individuals as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you had any. I'm sure there's hundreds of success stories, but if there were any that you could share, I mean, you don't have to obviously share anybody's name or detail, but
definitely.
I loved hearing that story that somebody was so excited that they were able to have insurance under their own name, which they hadn't had before, or like you said, purchase a car. Are there any other success stories that you can kind of share or highlight?
Pretty much that's the one that from somebody that was reentering, that's the one that sticks out the most, because it's very impactful. As I say, when the individual comes in and what's probably something so normal in your life and my life is such a big deal in their life, and having this accomplishment, it only reiterates the individual that it's doable. Just putting your mind and effort into it is pretty much doable.
Yep. And my guess is that, most people that, where I'm going with this. Sorry, there's a lot of thoughts. I mean, there's so many things we can talk about. There's thousands and thousands of employers out there, and there's a lot of people looking for help. But when you look through a list of people and you can do background checks and whatnot, there are people that likely should be given a chance, but might not be able to be given a chance because of a certain thing in their background. Correct. But the fact that they can go through your program at Tec Centro, and through the programs that Thaddeus Stevens has put together, and really be given a fair shot at gainful employment and to really rebuild their lives. I mean, you're impacting thousands of people on an annual basis, and that's just fantastic. I love
Yes,
it.
absolutely. And not only the type of skills that they get here, they're amazing skills that the students live with. We do celebrate graduation for the students as well. We have an upcoming graduation now at Patty Stevens on the 18th for this cohort that finishes, and on the 18th of this month. And we provide the students not only with that certificate of completion from Thaddeus Stevens, which itself holds a lot of weight here in the region, but the students also gain some other skills. For example, a week before the students started the program, Tec Centro provides an essential skills and soft skills training, which is very attractive to employers as well. What we do on that is teach customer service, job readiness, how to prepare a resume. We do mock interviews. So the students are very well prepared when they go, and having this certificate, which we provide a certificate for the students as well that complete the full week of the training. It's very attractive to the employer because now the employer doesn't have to spend the time to train this individual on these skills when they off the bat comes with them, and then now they can focus their attention into something more related to the company or to the job. One of the other things that the individual also acquires, we call them micro credentials, which are all the credentials that stack on top of the Thaddeus Stevens certificate that they get. They get OSHA 10. Again, which is in this industry is it's very attractive to employers. Depending on the career path, they might have other micro credentials that they might get through it as well.
That's great. So yeah, I mean, what I'm hearing is that the certificate, the fact that they've been through the program, the Tec Centro name carries weight, and the Thaddeus Stevens name carries weight with any employer looking at hiring somebody that's been through that program. That makes a ton of sense.
It does. And, this is all presented to a student in a portfolio. And in that portfolio, he has all the tools he would need to go into any job interviews. He will have all his certificates in that portfolio, a resume, because we help the student through the 6 months that they're here, develop and build their resume, any letters of recommendation, anything that the students might need when they go to that interview or to search for a job. It's all in one place, and we provide it to them during graduation as well.
Yep. Wonderful. So Tec Centro, obviously, and SACA in general, can't provide any of these programs without help from the community. I'm sure funding is a big deal. You probably have fundraisers that you do and events that you host that the community can help out with. We often try to connect the dots between the community and these organizations that could use the community help, and whether that's volunteering, funding, whatnot. How can the community help Tec Centro and SACA?
I'm a firm believer that it takes a village. So,
Ray seems frozen at the moment. I don't know if he's going to pop back on here, or I really would like to hear his thoughts on. I love the it takes a village comment, because we see over and over and over again on this show, Lancaster Connects, how the community rallies around organizations, and how organizations support each other, and of course how the community supports these organizations. Last week we learned about how the community helps through the Incredible Give that happens at the end of the year, and it's just one of those ways that the community rallies around organizations and programs. Well, I guess, Chris, if Ray pops back in, you can pop him, or if he comes back online, you can pop him back into the screen. But otherwise, we'll start to move forward. We're kind of nearing the end of the show anyway, we would wrap up talking about Tec Centro and then do a little connection cocktail. But I will share a testimonial that came in for Gardner's Mattress and More. I didn't mention Gardner's earlier, but Gardner's is the four walls within which I sit. Gardner's is the business that I own with Jeff, who is my partner and typically the co-host of Lancaster Connects. Like I said, he's on the road today. But Gardner's Mattress and More, we help Lancaster wake up happy every morning. And we've got great customers that say great things after they make their purchase with us. And usually we read a testimonial during the show. Here I see Chris just said he was disconnected, so maybe he'll pop back on here. But we have great customers that say great things, and I'll read you a testimonial that came in from Ken over the last week. Ken said, "Gardner's is great. We were not looking forward to shopping for a mattress, which is typical. Nobody looks forward to shopping for a mattress. With our elderly parents, we had shopped at other stores where the associates literally showed us a line of mattresses and told us to try them. So it's like, hey, try these beds back here. We think you'll like them. That's not a great thing for a sleep associate to do for somebody trying beds. Like, what about that mattress or that line of mattresses helps the customer get a better night's sleep? That's where we cut through all that clutter. And that's really where we specialize and shine. We finally asked friends, and like they were frustrated. Ken goes on to say, we finally asked friends and family, and Gardner's was the resounding recommendation. We are so thankful. We're thankful as well. Drew interviewed us, which is, it kind of sounds more official than it is, but we like to learn about our customers, and obviously we're trying to learn their sleep needs so we can match those sleep needs we can match the product to best fit and solve the sleep needs, solve sleep issues. So Drew interviewed us before showing us any mattresses. He thoughtfully led us to specific mattresses and helped us to get the perfect one. He obviously lives and breathes a good night's sleep. We highly recommend Gardner. So nice little testimonial that came in from Ken over the past week on Google. There it is. Yeah. So cool little thing there on the screen. Gardner's is now over 500 5-star Google reviews. And that's really, really a cool and special thing. I know there's tons of companies out there with more, but for a small, locally owned, family run mattress store, it's really, really pretty cool and humbling that we've got wonderful customers that say great things after, receiving what we feel is excellent service. Sometimes I read handwritten testimonials. So there's even more 5-star testimonials that we have handwritten, and of course, Facebook as well. But very humbled by Ken and all the other customers that have said great things at Gardner's. And it's really, Gardner's, is supported by our customers, which are part of the Lancaster community. But, our success over the years at Gardner's has not only allowed people to sleep better and hopefully wake up happy and feel better in the community and do great things in the community, but it also allows us to do some fun things like produce this show. We pay to produce this show. Chris at Cast Ahead, who every once in a while gives me private chat messages there. And actually he's saying Ray's back. So we'll bring Ray on in just a moment here. I'll wrap up my thought there. But Chris at Cast Ahead Productions, fantastic. If you ever need a podcast producer, Chris is your guy. We can make the connection there. But Gardner's and our success here at Gardner's allows us to do cool things like put on this show, Lancaster Connects, which highlights great organizations and great people in this community, like SACA, the Spanish American Civic Association, and its division Tec Centro, and Ray Rivera. We'll bring Ray back and wrap up our conversation there. So great people doing great things in Lancaster County, and Ray is one of many there, and one of many at Tec Centro and SACA doing great things. Ray, I think the last thing you said that I heard was it takes a village. And
correct.
We were talking about how the community can support Tec Centro and SACA and your efforts there. So have at it.
Definitely. I apologize. I don't know.
That's
Out of
right.
all days.
No, hey, things happen.
So yeah, like I said, we, as I mentioned before, we cannot do everything by ourselves. And I'm a firm believer if it takes a village, to raise a child, but in this case to help our people in our community. And, again, our biggest hurdle right now is financial funding and, having the correct funding it's very crucial to serve the community. It's for different reasons, course offering, getting equipment and instructors, the staff, providing the scholarship. So we do that, through many grants that we do put out, but we also donations, philanthropic donations as well. So every little bit helps. Again, with funding, we'll be able to sustain and continue this sort of program.
Yeah. So right on the website right now is sacapa.org, SACAPA.org. And Chris is scrolling through the giving page. There's a button there to donate, and also an opportunity to volunteer. Maybe you could briefly talk about the volunteer opportunities. What could you need help with there, and what are some volunteer opportunities?
Of course, we always are looking for volunteers for not only for Tec Centro, but any of our programs. A volunteer is a key component of any nonprofit organizations because it provides that additional set of hands so we can be ready and be better serve the community. So we're always looking for volunteers, not only at Tec Centro, but anywhere in within the programs of our organizations. They're always welcome.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, funding is great, but not everybody has the extra income or extra funds to be able to give, but they can give time. And that's needed as well. So it's not that one is better than the other. It's just, volunteers are needed and funding is needed. You got to have both.
Definitely.
These programs just don't materialize and happen without good people and funding. So that's great. I wanted to ask, do you have any fundraising events or opportunities that somebody, like maybe I know sometimes organizations have dinners and things like that. Do you ever do those things on an annual basis?
We try to. Right now we have our annual fiesta. That's for fundraising for our radio station. That's been over 20 years in the year. So we also participate with Extraordinary Gift.
Yep.
As well. So yeah, that's some of the fundraising that we participate in. We do.
That's great. Anything else you'd like to tell people about Tec Centro or SACA or anything else that we should know?
Pretty much our doors are open. Anybody that's looking to upskill or try to get into a career path, we have great opportunities. We don't only have the skills program, but we also have, in our East location, we have our allied health, and we have other, partnership with, Harcum College, which we also offer an associate degree. Now in that one, the students, is going to take a little bit of more financial responsibility. That's an associate degree program. But other than that, our allied health programs are through HAC, our skill training through Patty Stevens. We also have our dental assistant. We have our culinary arts program as well. So anybody that's out there or know of anybody that's looking to upskill and get into a better stability financially, send them our way. Our doors are open for anybody and anybody that walks through our doors. One of the things that we are trying to remove ourselves is the stigma that we only serve the Spanish population, and we don't. We don't. We serve anybody and everybody that walks through those doors that are that need of our assistance, and we are very happy to meet the people where they're at.
I'm glad you said that. So if somebody is interested in a program or wants to recommend Tec Centro and SACA to somebody, where should they go? Is the website a great place to get started?
That is an amazing way to get started, because right there you can see the different programs that we have available, brief explanation on what to expect from the program, and a way to get into our waiting list.
Okay.
If not, if you're near one of our facilities, you can walk in, and our staff, our office assistants, will be glad to help you to provide any information that you're looking for, as well as to place you in the waiting list, or you can call in as well.
Okay, that's great. And we actually had should wrap up that before this question comes in. SACAPA.org, SACAPA.org, since you mentioned the website. So that's a great place to get started. I don't know if you see it on the screen there. We had a question come in, somebody watching on Facebook. Do you have any programs for refugees who speak Haitian Creole or Spanish?
Actually, our programs are offered in the classes of the programs are offered totally in English, but we do have our ESL programs that we do have a lot of refugees attending the program. Yep. So we have ESL in all levels, beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So those are the programs that we have a lot of refugees or people that are only Spanish speaking will get into. They would get ready with the language, and then they will process to any of the other programs, GED or any of our skills programs as well.
Okay, so ESL, English as a second language. Correct?
English as a second language, yep. Correct.
So Joseph Fair, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for submitting a question. Again, SACAPA, SACAPA.org. SACAPA.org is a great place to get started. And I'm sure, if there's questions, that's a great place to get started. Ask a question. I'm sure there's a contact us form on there, and the team at SACA and Tec Centro can direct you to the right place to go.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we got a little bit more with you, Ray. We got our connection cocktail coming up. Thank you so much for being on and talking about Tec Centro and all the great things you are doing there. Julian, sorry about that. He's just running back and forth. Do you have a question you want to ask Ray? Is that what's going on? You want to ask Ray a question? No? All right. So, our connection cocktail is a way to get to know you a little bit better, Ray. Since we got to know Tec Centro so well, we want to learn a little bit more about Ray. So let's see. Are you a Lancaster native? I didn't ask that. Did you grow up in Lancaster?
Actually, okay. No. Well, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
In the town of Aguas Buenas. Until I was 10 years old.
Okay.
Then my mother and my father decided to relocate through a common friend that they had, particularly to Lancaster, and in search for better financial stability and providing better benefits for their, at that time, 2 children. And from there on, this is where we've lived. My parents just currently relocated back to Puerto Rico. They retired back to the island. So, yeah, a little envious of them, but
okay. Well,
they work very hard for that.
you can visit anytime, right?
That's the plus. That's the positive.
There
right
you go.
there.
So you came here when you were 10. So you've been in Lancaster a long time.
Definitely.
How would you describe Lancaster? If you could describe it in one word, 1 or 2 words, what would that be?
Oh my God. Amazing.
Amazing. Okay.
Lancaster has been a great home for me and my family, and they have been able to provide us with great opportunities as well. So
that's great. Yeah.
A great place to be.
I think that was the first amazing we've received. We've gotten there's a lot of great descriptive words out there. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat the word amazing, right? It's pretty cool.
It is.
All right. So, second question: your favorite restaurant in Lancaster? Could be Lancaster City. Could be Lancaster
Somebody
County.
else told me, be ready for that because they might ask you that. I love ethnic food.
Okay.
Aside from my good Puerto Rican food, I also love ethnic food. So I love Thai food, and I also like Vietnamese food. So I often go to Salatai in town.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that one and Sprout.
Sprout. Okay. Yeah. Where's Sprout?
Well, Rice and Noodles, it's out of Lidditz, and they just opened a second location right there at the corner of Orange and Prince Street.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
So, yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so I'll let you go in just a minute here. One last question for you.
Definitely.
We know you like to visit Puerto Rico, but is there anywhere in the world that you would like to go visit? Where would that be?
Well, actually, and it's still on my plans, in my bucket list, how you call it, but I want to visit Europe. Spain in particular.
Okay. Yep.
So hopefully I will get there at some point soon.
There you go.
In the near future. Our influences in Puerto Rico, they're African, Indian, and Spanish. So it's always in my bucket list that I wanted to visit Spain and
that's
see
cool.
what it's like.
I've heard it's beautiful. I've never been. I've been to some other places in Europe, but not Spain. So that's cool. You'll get there.
Definitely.
And have a wonderful time. Yeah. All right. Well, Ray, thank you so much. This has been wonderful to meet you, talk to you, learn about. Of course, we knew SACA and Tec Centro from the previous conversations we had, but it was great to meet and talk with you and kind of dig a little bit more into the work of Tec Centro and Thaddeus Stevens for workplace reentry from incarceration. So this was great to see kind of that angle of it. You're doing amazing things there. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me. And this is amazing work that you guys are doing, bringing this information out for everybody to have their hands on and they can listen to it and they learn more about what we do and look forward those individuals that want to get service from us.
Yeah. And I love the fact that Joseph Fair was watching and had a question. And, if we can impact one person as a result of this show through the work that you're doing, we named the show Lancaster Connects for a reason, try to, connect organizations and community. And again, there's, I think you're episode 146 or 7, something like that. So, we just talked to, we've highlighted a number of wonderful organizations over the last few years. And it's really cool to see, there's no shortage of organizations in Lancaster doing great work. And you and SACA is one of them. So again, thanks for being on the show. Hope you have a great rest of the afternoon. And again, everybody, this is the end of the show. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great afternoon. We'll catch you next time on Lancaster Connects. See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.